Hello everyone, it's me, Tamela Clover, and this is Dear Tamela, where I give you advice that you can trust. And today, I have a special one. It is Best of Reddit updates, originally from Am I the A-hole? And the thing is, am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend over the Barbie movie? So in honor of that, I've worn my most Barbie dress that I could find. Butterflies and pastel and shininess. It's amazing. And I'm really excited to get into this with you. So let's go. So this was posted July 26th, so not very long ago of this year. I am 23 female. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my BF 23 male over the Barbie movie? Well, let's find out. I literally don't know what to do right now, and I feel so helpless turning to Reddit for advice/validation. But 3 days ago, my BF and I went to see the Barbie movie. I've been really excited as I'm a huge Greta Gerwig fan, and my BF liked Ryan Reynolds, other than him being in the movie. My BF didn't know anything else about it. I, on the other hand, was aware of its feminist themes, and was secretly hoping my BF would get the message. Over the duration of the movie, I could tell he was getting more and more uncomfortable/upset, and I was getting really sad, both from the movie and his reaction. And I knew we would end up having a conversation about it afterwards. He didn't talk to me until we got in the car. He then told me that he was really offended by the movie. Okay. And said that it was the kind of thing I should have watched with my girlfriends and not him. I understood where he was coming from, but I'm not going to even start explaining why I disagreed. We have been having problems with his weird comments about women, the LGBTQ community, and other stuff. He would deem it BS. Maybe it was a long time coming, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I was tired of having to always deal with his attitude and disrespect, and was also maybe on this girl power high, so I told him it was over. The complicated part is this. He lived with me. He has been in between serving jobs, and since he was my freaking boyfriend, I let him move in with me 6 months ago. Living with him is a whole other story, but I couldn't take it anymore, and had him leave my apartment the next day. I stayed at my friend's house while he packed up his stuff. He said he understood and that he didn't want to live with me another second anyways. Okay. I assumed he had a place to go, but apparently he didn't. His brother called me a few hours ago saying his MIA? Oh, he's MIA, sorry. His friends are blowing up my phone saying the same thing. I feel like this is all my fault. No one heard from him in 24 hours. I did think it was weird when I came home and all the food in the fridge was gone. All the batteries in our electronics drawer were gone. He took my phone charger and half the blankets. I know he did not, in fact, have anywhere to go or a car. He had been using mine since his engine busted last month. The worst part is, we still have his location and it's saying he is 2 states away. I don't know how he got there. I can't believe this is all because of a freaking Barbie movie. Okay. Wow. You know, yeah, I'm sorry that if he's like missing or whatever, like I hope he's okay, like in a hope you're okay kind of sense. But like, man, like, let's go Barbie movie. Like, holy cow. And I have to say, I watched the movie and I did not think it was going to be good. Like, I'm not going to lie. I liked Barbie as a kid, but I did not think it could possibly be anything serious or like that anybody can make it good. Like, I thought it was going to be like a Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtle like movie or like any of those like really niche films that just like have a hard time having like really profound like content. And you guys, if you haven't watched it, it's like a perfect film. Like, it is so good. It is well done. Like, you do not have to like Barbie, but it does have a very feminist point of view. That being said, anybody getting upset that has a feminist point of view that's watched it, like, oh my gosh, big red flags. Like, seriously. because it's not done in a mean way in any way. It's done in a very like bring you in kind of way that's all about like equalness. So anybody who's like being like uncomfortable and like not okay with like something promoting equalness, even somebody who would be uncomfortable watching a Barbie movie that was just about Barbie and not done well, like that would be weird too. It's like, no, like a partner should be able to watch the things that you like, and share things with you and not be so like towing the gender lines and all that stuff. That's saying something's going on there at the very least. But she was also having a lot of red flags already. She didn't just break up because of this. Having a partner who's not working can be difficult. Having somebody like being strange like in your house, it sounds like, and like making weird comments, and like honestly, early on in the relationship is when people are on their good behavior. Like imagine like what it would be like later on, you know so I think that she made a good call, like solid. And honestly, I kind of love like how this movie is having such a big effect. Not just this, but I've heard so many things. And this isn't so much about the movie, this post is about the OP and their question, but like I am really excited that like to see conversations being had between all kinds of people, and I think that's wonderful. So I don't know. I think that she's making the right call. I don't think that she should feel bad at this stage. Like she has every right to ask him to leave. Now, giving him like get out right now, he could have said, no, I need 30 days. And like she would have needed to respect that in most places. I'm assuming that they're from America, and most of the states that we have do require like 30 days notice. Even if somebody is not paying the bills, once they are living there, they're considered a tenant, and you have to like do it legally, technically. But a lot of people don't even realize that, so maybe he didn't know his rights. If she did and didn't tell him, maybe not cool. But like, he's also a grown person. He has a brother apparently. Like he has family, and like wherever he went like he made choices. That's just what I'm assuming. He made choices. Like unless somebody like had a van outside the door waiting for him, which I really hope isn't the case. Like he's a grown adult that is making the best out of maybe a bad situation. And honestly, maybe he should consider like treating people like differently, like because it sounds like he's really upset too, like from the comment of like I just want to be out of here, like you know sorry for the light, everyone. It's so dark in my room. But the thing is like maybe like the boyfriend has some growing to do, or the ex-boyfriend. But there is an update, so hopefully everything turns out okay in the sense that he's like alive and well, and hopefully she stands her ground. That's what I'm hoping. So and before we get to the update, there actually was like no consensus. Like I guess people like saying kind of a lot of things, but the majority of the comments were not the a-hole. So I would agree with that too. The update is the next day, so July 27th of this year. Hi everyone. I know everyone says this, but I really didn't expect this to blow up. I'm a little embarrassed, but in light of everything I've learned over the past 24 hours, I'm once again oversharing on Reddit. Before anything else, I wrote that post in a frenzy of panic and guilt. With a clearer head, I can recognize that yes, we broke up because we were incompatible, and I was at my limit, not because of a movie. Some people were saying I maybe needed the Barbie movie more than he did, since I was clearly dating a bigot. I'm going to pause there, too, because she didn't give us enough specific details for me to feel like comfortable saying that that's what he actually is. Like he could be like a lesser level of like somebody who has like some internalized issues going on, which I think a lot of us do, and doesn't quite go to that level. I do say that he's on the path to go into that level from what we're seeing. But like there's just not enough information for me to feel comfortable to like just like slide over that. And just I think it's really important how we title people. And I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt if there just needs to be more evidence. And like I'm sure she has a whole backlog of proof that she didn't like present to us, and like things that he did and said. But because like we don't have those, I don't want to use that term for him right now. But I will accept that that's how she feels, and it's valid for her to feel how she's feeling. So moving on with the update. So she's been dating him, and to that I agree. I was convinced I loved him, but I think I just didn't really understand my value or feel deserving of someone better. I've learned my lesson, and as a WOC will never let myself be treated like that again. My biggest regret is that my loved ones had to endure him as well. Well, I've been cheated on before, but I usually find out and then we break up. Since I found out about my ex's cheating after I broke up with him, I'm not exactly turned up about it. I feel like I skipped the questioning and sadness and went straight to the over it. But since I have everyone's attention, I'm going to put him on blast right now. Okay, let's go. I can confidently say his beliefs were the worst part about him, and I'm not extremely surprised that he didn't respect me enough to be loyal. But the way I found out was actually kind of funny. His brother has been keeping me semi-updated on the missing Ken situation, but I haven't really been asking any questions. Other than how he and his family are doing. They're not mad at me as they are aware of the situation. His brother even thanked me for taking care of him for as long as I did. He texted me this morning around 9 saying we don't need to worry anymore because he's at the cousin's house in Colorado Springs. Then around 12 in the afternoon, I got multiple calls from a friend of his saying that he heard from my ex. This friend sucks so much, I'm not even gonna get into it. I supremely regret giving him my number. He was obviously under the influence of some sort. Not to judge, but literally 12 p.m. at that point. And he's telling me stuff like, he is literally so much happier now that you let him go, and that he just felt bad for me, and that I was a charity work. Wow. Oh my gosh. And then he said, now he can be with his main for real. His name getting some real, word for female reproductive organs. Literally pause. I asked him to clarify and he gave me that laughing guy thing they do when they say something they weren't supposed to. Then he said F me and hung up. The potentially craziest part that's been getting to me is that he is definitely at his cousin's house. His brother confirmed. I think I'm going crazy because I've seen his cousin on his Insta feed before, and she's literally stunning. He said she's the second cousin in how they're related. If this is real, I can't even comprehend what this means. Maybe it's not real, I don't know, but I think it's the perfect ending to this story. I'm not going to update anymore after this because I feel like I'm already going to regret this update. But final notes, he must have taken all of the stuff from the house out of spite. I found out that he took the batteries from the remotes and my hair blow dryer too. I don't know how he got to his cousin's house. I didn't ask. Or what happened to my Dyson Airwrap. But maybe his cousin / girlfriend is using it now. In the spirit of Barbie, she can have it. And yes, I know I said Ryan Reynolds when it was like Ryan Gosling. Like that one comment said, facial blindness is real. That's all. Well, I'm going to actually read a couple. Let's see if I can read some of the comments about the update. Somebody said, I don't know much about women, but the women I do know would swear an eternal blood feud if someone took their Dyson Airwrap from them. Okay. That's funny. Somebody else said he wasn't Ken enough. So, don't feel the Kenergy. She condored too much. Good that he couldn't contrap her. Okay, these are like really, really bad puns, but that's a little fun. Um, and just scroll down. It seems like, yeah, not a whole lot of anything like of, to me, consequence. Like nobody's like super riled up with this. Like there's a lot about the Dyson, a lot about that, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and give my opinion. There's a lot, like that friend calling like piece of work, but like no, even if this guy was actually saying that she was charity work, well, I'm sorry, she wasn't, he was. Like, she was paying all the bills, you guys, taking care of his broke self, which isn't bad, like, if you're in a loving relationship or, like, you have the means and you want to. But, like, when you're the person being taken care of, you know, the least you could do is, like, be decent towards the person helping you. And, like, I feel like, again, it's just further proof that she dodged a bullet, that this is something that's really kind of probably ingrained with his like core group. I will say that somebody like seeming like whatever they're on like at a certain time, like a little shamey. I don't know that we needed to go there. I think it's enough to say that the friend is just not cool, and like leave it at that. And like the whole bit about like maybe he's with like his cousin that's like a distant cousin or whatever. I also feel like that's a little shamey. And I understand like kind of like those are like low hanging fruit, but if anything, like we, you know, if he really is with anyone he's with, we should probably feel a little bit sorry for. But it's just, I don't know that that needs to go that way. That's just how I feel. But like really, I'm glad that like he's okay, and he's just not okay. You know, he's not an okay person. And the fact that he took so much of her stuff, is another red flag. Another red flag. Like, I'm so glad that this guy got out of her house. Because there are guys, and probably women too, but like I've seen it a lot with men that have like these certain types of views about women and like women's places and like, you know, their like position in the world. And like when things stop working or like you cross them, they could become incredibly dangerous. And taking somebody's stuff that like taking stuff that isn't yours, that is a very like vindictive thing to do. And it's something that could mean nothing other than they just aren't like cool in that level, or it could be a sign that they are capable of doing more than that, you know, under different circumstances. So like I feel like the OPS is so lucky to have this person out of her life, and like I do wish him the best in the sense that I hope he has an awakening, like a come to the equality movement moment, you know, for like a whole bunch of things. I always think it's good to like try to like leave space for people to come back, like calling in stuff, but it doesn't sound like this guy is there right now, you know. So maybe he gets there, maybe he doesn't, but for her, she's free. And I think what she said is so valid about maybe settling because she didn't feel like she was worthy enough, you know. And I've been there too, like even like in a healthy like kind of good relationship, but one where like maybe the person isn't choosing me as like the primary thing. Like it's just at some point you have to like wake up and say that like you deserve to be chosen and cherished and valued, and that's for all people, men, women, non-binary people, however they identify, non-binary by the way. um and like you deserve to have good things in your life, like people who love you enthusiastically and want to be there and be committed. And that doesn't necessarily mean monogamous, but in this case they had a monogamous relationship and there's indications that he cheated, which is not, it's not okay. um and yeah, I think that people should have those expectations, and I really hope that she could work on that, because it can be difficult, and maybe you're excited at first by somebody and like you don't know them, but once you start to see them and they don't treat you a certain way, it's like you gotta move on, you gotta let it go. Like, that's about all I have for this. But again, if you have not seen the Barbie movie, it is literally so good. Like, I cannot even express how perfectly well it was done. Just an absolute wonderful director. I also saw Oppenheimer. You guys, I did both. And that was a really good film too. And that's a really good director too. But I think like the way that a topic that is difficult to address was paired with like such a something that's considered like very childish and like in a lot of ways, and like not really feminist in a lot of ways too. Like a lot of us like view like more as a judgment towards like how we look and stuff as women or female presenting people, and like turned it into like a masterpiece. Like, seriously, please, I'm saying this to all people, like, just do it. It's worth it. Top film that I've seen so far this year, definitely. But best of luck to the OP, and I hope that she always knows just how valuable and how worthy she is, and I hope all of you lovelies also know that about yourselves. So this is me saying goodbye to you all, and I hope you have a wonderful night.